Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Here we are again with a political reaction. First, let's say rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. I think he's 84 years old. Was I guess a great activist. But on this topic that I'm gonna talk about today, he would have been on the side of the rest of the liberal Democrat sycophants thinking that black people were too dog shit stupid to get voter ID. But, we can't judge him just based on this one principle. I would wonder if he was still within all of his faculties, would he be following the liberal Democrats with child mutilation and believing that our borders should be open to just anybody and everybody illegally and stuff like that. So I would wonder what kind of evolution the man would have went through. I didn't agree, and I don't agree that black people are too stupid to get IDs to vote. That wouldn't be an impediment. So we're going to talk about that today because we're in a modern era, and I think everybody who's a United States citizen should actually have all the proper ID that they need to function in this country. It doesn't matter what color you are, So if there's a whole political group trying to convince another group that they're too stupid and too weak and too idiotic to do the proper things to get an ID, that's the very definition of this soft bigotry of low expectations. And I've always been against low expectations. I've had high expectations for my children and the people I deal with. Sometimes you don't meet them, but if you start out low, then you're telling people you have no faith that they could accomplish almost anything. So we're going to talk about it today. And this is going to be a short video. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have a comment, put it in the comment block. If you just pop in for a second, I know a lot of you are probably working. Just pop in, hit the like button, leave a comment in the chat. And, like I said, this is going to be a short one. The first part of this is Scott Jennings, who's the only reason why CNN is probably still on the air with this stupid ass show that Abby Phillips runs. So here's one man taking on a whole a whole panel of idiotic liberals trying to convince people that black people are too dog shit stupid to be able to get IDs to vote. And here's one white man sitting down here and say, "Wait a minute, man! It just sounds stupid on the surface of it." So without further ado from me, we're gonna let this guy go ahead and handle like he almost does almost every show. He's by himself sitting on an island handling a whole gaggle of liberals. And you can see them talking over him and everything else. It's hard to watch sometimes, but the guy has the patience of Job when he's dealing with them. I know it's all part of the shtick, but they can't get rid of him. They want to get rid of him, but they can't get rid of him, or else Abby Phillips' show would just get taken off the air. And maybe with their ratings so low in general for CNN, maybe it's coming to an end soon enough. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see how Scott Jennings handles all of these idiots on the panel. Okay. And it's kind of gets convoluted because they talk over him. They don't let him get a full thought out from time to time because they don't have any real arguments. So when he tries to speak, as soon as he tries to hit a point, they try to jump in there so they could disrupt his point. But most people can see through the charade of these liberals. And so let's go ahead and see what's going on. All right, so let's get it started.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
the SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0. So this is the same president. If we want to continue,
you haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have. That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right?
She still hasn't answered how. And how is getting an ID a poll tax? And here's the thing that really should make everybody mad. If I needed an ID, let's just say I was from the deepest, darkest hood and shit, and I didn't have a high school education, I'm just an asshole, but I wanted to buy a car or I wanted to do something that requires an ID. Do you think I'd be able to get one if I really wanted something? You know what I'm saying? Every American should have an ID. And here's the thing. Here's the real kicker. And we got all these asshole liberals saying how we're too stupid to get IDs. But when you ask the regular rank and file black person on the street, they absolutely overwhelmingly say that we should have IDs to vote.
If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country. And it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending to me.
Yes, you see how they try to overtalk him now when he has a point? And this next point that they're going to try to say should get every woman who's ever been married upset, right? Unless you're some liberal trying to kind of gaslight yourself. Because this next point they're going to make is just as stupid as saying blacks are too dog shit stupid of getting an ID.
Voters of black voters
that's not
who want voter ID.
But to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs. The SAVE Act is about
proof
of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't.
It also makes it very hard for married women who change
I was just going to say we talked about this before. It's
voters.
not. It actually there's an argument to be made that red state voters, women. Poor white voters could be just as.
I know you think they're dumb too, don't you?
Young
I mean,
voters.
that's the thing.
Nobody
I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
Please don't. No. You listen.
There's a deflection from talking about incomes racism.
I'm actually
right there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate. Many women, a majority of women who.
First of all, to say many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate is a lie. You might have lost it. I mean, I've lost my birth certificate a couple of times and just registered for another one. If they have a social security number, they know where they were born, they can get their birth certificate. It's on record somewhere. Unless it's on record somewhere, you just got to go get it and do the work to get it. And it's really not that expensive. So it's a lie. So she just lied right there. It's not like impossible to get your birth certificate.
Change their names for marriage. Have to.
There you go. There's the one. Let me just go ahead. About the name change. Do you guys remember in America when women used to be women and they just automatically changed their last names because they loved their husbands and they wanted to keep their family intact? You leave one man, you go to another man. Now you're his responsibility, his obligation. You take his last name. I have never heard one woman who's married. Now, all my aunts is back. They were from the silent generation. They all voted. They all were married. And I never heard a woman in my life say, because I changed my name, I couldn't vote. It's a goddamn lie. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Millions and millions of American women have changed their last name when we used to get married. And none of them said, you know what? I don't know if I want to change my last name because I can't vote. It's just a lie.
Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional proof that they've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am. And
as
the
opposed
substance
to making this about something that it's not.
You're saying,
it's not just about voter ID.
married
it's
women,
also about
black
who has
voters,
access
and rural people
to
are too stupid to figure out how to register to vote.
See, I'll tell tell you, man, Scott Jennings is so funny. I mean, he just laid it out there. I mean, listen, I'm 67 years old, right? And I've never heard any of my relatives who are married said, you know what, shit, man, I should have never changed my last name because I can't vote. They all went to the voting, but you know, if you have a marriage certificate, you can make the connection between your birth records and your current name. And if you had to do that, okay, you had to take an extra step. But the truth of the matter is, they want to be able to have illegal aliens vote so bad that they want to dispel common sense by saying that people are too weak, stupid, and dumb to get IDs. It's just ridiculous. You know, as far as the poorest people in the world, actually, in America, have cars. They all need to have a car to have a license. I mean, it's just crazy.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
Exact same argument.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at the
SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue,
you haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have.
Yeah, we don't have to go through it again. Listen, you know what, man? It's so ridiculous. So I'm gonna switch over to my next thing where we got my man in Congress telling the Republican brother from Congress, telling people how stupid this shit really is. And his eloquence is okay. So we're gonna have that second part, and then I'm gonna end this because it's not even worth arguing with people over this, because anybody saying that blacks are too dog shit stupid to get a voter ID, it's not even worth to have a conversation with. Or married women can't vote because they changed their last name. It's just the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And that's not a good enough reason to say we can't have a SAFE Act. So I know they can't get it through the Senate, but I think if the senators had any balls, they'd break the filibuster and do it anyway. So anyway, so here's my next... Here's the next one, and we're gonna let the brother talk about it. And I want everybody to listen to this one. Got the CNN panel. All right. Let me.
I would now yield time to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Hunt.
The fundamental question that we must answer today is is America worth preserving? I, of course, think it is. I think this is the greatest country in the world. I love this country. I'm a veteran, served in combat, and I'm a United States congressman. I think this is by far the greatest country in the world. But if the United States is a country worth preserving, then I think we must protect the integrity of our elections and do everything in our power to do just that. I am shocked that the SAVE Act, which has already passed the House in a bipartisan fashion, is even controversial to many Democrats. I mean, they are the ones that constantly are shouting about preserving democracy. And safeguarding our elections is the bedrock of our democracy. It's something that both sides should easily support. And
this is like the hot tub time machine, right? Because this thing has gone through the Congress before. And here we are, right, in 2026, talking about the same thing, and it's back at the Senate. And it's the Democrats who do not want to have, fair and open elections where people can prove who they are. And the notion that illegals haven't voted is a lie. It's already been found out. So it's an absolute lie. They have been voting, especially in those stupid blue states like California.
Agree upon. They say that non-citizens voting in an election is not a real issue, or if some non-citizens are registered to vote, it's not a significant amount to make a difference. Well, in my home state of Texas, we just removed thousands of non-citizens from voter rolls. And in some of these recently hotly contested elections, that amount could even be enough to swing an entire election, especially this year. Undermining the integrity of elections is not an oversight. It's a threat to democracy. And for all of those, this is about democracy. For all of us, this should be about democracy. I think it's time that we as a body acknowledge that threat. Now, Democrats on the left aren't just focused on replacing American voters, they are focused on replacing American jobs as well. Under the Biden-Harris administration, jobs in foreign-born workers are significantly increasing while jobs for native-born workers are declining. Critics say that these illegal immigrants are needed because they will do the jobs that Americans won't do. What they fail to say is that Americans won't do the jobs when Biden inflation is outpacing their wages. And fixing the illegal immigration problem will help American workers. I fixed the problem for you. The immigration problem is not a minimum wage issue. It hasn't always been the case, but in recent years, the left has decided to slowly erode everything that we'd hold dear as a country. They want to erode our culture, our history, our patriotism, and lastly, our vote. Do you remember during the George Floyd riots when the left wanted to reimagine policing? Now the left wants to reimagine voting so that everyone, regardless of their citizenship, can choose our next president. That's not the American way. The left wants to reimagine everything that makes America special. They even want to reimagine our Constitution. One example is a recent New York Times article, and the title speaks to itself. The Constitution is sacred. It is also dangerous. One of the biggest threats to American politics might be the country's founding documents, said the author. Now, I'm sitting here right now, and I got to tell y'all, I'm Black, and I'm a veteran. I have 6 forms of government ID. 6. I've been Black for my whole life. I've been a veteran since 2000 when I was at West Point. The insinuation that Black and brown people cannot get an ID to vote like every other citizen, regardless of your race, religion, color, or creed, is insulting. I actually refer to this as the soft bigotry of low expectations.
You know what? I guess the funny thing is that a speechwriter wrote that for George Bush, the second, the young George Bush, the one who got us in the stupid Iraqi war. But, he used that phrase when he was talking about the soft bigotry of low expectations for Mexican or Spanish students not being able to learn, or low-income students not to be able to be taught because they don't have the advantages. And he said, really, that's bullshit. It's really bullshit. You just got to set up the stage so they can learn. Just because you're low income doesn't mean you have to be dog shit stupid. If I told people where I used to live when I was young, nobody would have ever thought I could retire as an engineer from the Department of the Army. So it's just bullshit, man. It's absolute bullshit. And the liberal Democrats keep trying to convince Black people that we're so fucking inferior that we need all of their bullshit to survive. And I'm tired of it. And my kids definitely don't believe that shit, because I made sure that, based on their hard work, they can do any fucking thing they want, as long as they've earned it. So it's time for all this to stop.
As all Americans should want free and fair elections. We aren't making it more difficult for people to get an ID to vote. I have an 18-month-old little boy. Do you know the first thing that he got when he was born that I had to sign for? A birth certificate. So the idea of this costing thousands of dollars and it's all of a sudden onerous and burdensome on Hispanic people and Black people like me is absurd. I have a very large family. My mom has 8 brothers and sisters. Every last Black person that I know in my life, which is quite a few, every last one of them has a government ID. It would be insulting to talk to my family and say to them, you know what, sorry, y'all, you're Black and it's just, so hard for you to get an ID like all the white people. That's absurd.
It's absurd in my family too. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would come around talking that kind of crap to us. It's crazy. It's absolute crazy.
And we as a country have got to reject this farce. I speak so strongly against this because I view myself as an American first. I am a veteran. I am a husband. I am a congressman. I'm someone that served this country. I'm an educated Black man. And somewhere down the line, I am Black and I am proud. And I understand that. But what I never want to do is marginalize a single group in this country by saying that you weren't good enough to get an ID, because my 18-month-old has an ID. We as a country have got to clean up our rules to ensure that we have free and fair elections, regardless of your race, religion, color, or creed. And that's why I reject the assertion that we, no matter what color you are, cannot reach that very low bar of having a government ID to figure out how to vote for the leadership and the future of this country. And with that, I yield back. Thank you.
And that's at every level, by the way, not just for the president. That's for the local elections. That's for state elections. That's for the federal elections. At every level. If in order to participate, you should have the proper documents to do it. And a notion that anybody that there's a group of people who can't do it, especially Black Americans. I mean, golly, man, at some point we got to reject the notion that we're too dog shit stupid to, exist in America on equal footing with everybody else. And listen, I have to tell you this. As a Black American, I don't think of anybody else besides maybe white Americans, of course, that have any more receipts that the ownership of this country belongs to us. We got hundreds of fucking years of toil and not just slavery, but toil in building some infrastructure in this country, architecturally. Agriculture and all that other kind of stuff, and we did it for free. So the notion that we can't participate on equal footing at some point is just crazy talk. Crazy talk, man. And we got too many Black gatekeepers like those assholes on Abby Phillips station trying to convince us that we're too fucking stupid to get an ID. This should make every Black person mad as hell. I mean, Hispanics, if you want to be. I'm just talking about Black people. Anybody telling you that you're too stupid to do something in America, like getting an ID, should just make you fucking mad. And I'm sorry for my cursing. It's at some point, we got to find some Black leaders to say, well, hell with Black leaders. We don't need Black leaders because most of them are stupid. We just need to have people stand up and say, you know what, reject the notion that we're too fucking stupid to get an ID. We're too stupid to participate in an American way. Just stop it. Anyway, man, excuse me for my cursing and my rant. I'm just infuriating. It's just so, the evil is so insidious. And the thing that really makes me mad that it permeates with too many Black folks. It really does. And sometimes I just think that we have a defect in the way we think. So we could be so easily led into stupidity by other people who have nefarious notions for us. Everywhere around the world. It's like we're the stupidest fucking people in the whole world. Anyway, man, with that, forget my cursing. It feels good to let it out. What the hell, But hey, I appreciate coming back. You can leave your comments. I'll read them later and shit like that. And relook at this, share it, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to my channel if you want to, and it's up to you. Pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Mad as hell. And I don't want to take it anymore. Over and out.